And we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cheats Movement podcast. I am your host, Cheats. And as you can see, maybe you can't see, maybe you're listening on podcast, but if you're watching live, you can see I'm joined by two very special guests. I am so excited about this week that is coming up for the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and an organization that I'm extremely proud to be a part of and connected to in many ways, the Ask uh, Cancer Childhood Cancer Foundation. I am joined by Blaine McCormick of the Richmond Flying Squirrels, who also happens to be an Ask ambassador, and I just call her Megs because she's the homie at this
I'll
point.
take that.
It really is. I've never asked you. I've seen it written several times. Meg, how do you say your last name?
Angstadt.
Very
but
nice.
I'm good with just Megs.
I'm not gonna try it. You notice I was just like, you said it, we're gonna roll on. Blaine, Megs, welcome to the Cheats Movement. We're so excited to have you both here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Cheats.
Let's talk about this week is huge, personally, but it's also just an exciting time. I was emailing Blaine earlier today, and I was like, this is a huge homestand. Then I thought to myself, I was like, okay, like every weekend for Blaine's a huge homestand because they've always got so much stuff going on. But this one is extremely personal because, again, Wednesday night, if you come out to the Diamond, you will be able to support Ask Childhood Cancer Foundation. You'll be able to support Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And it is just an amazing, amazing thing that's happening. Blaine, we are so excited that you are an Ask ambassador this year. And just tell us a little bit about what's happening at the ballpark on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day because not only is it Ask night at the Diamond again, it's also going to be our RVA night. So we want to get the community out here, and that means community involvement from all neighborhoods in Richmond. So whether you live in the Fan, the West End, even as far south as Petersburg or up in Ashland, like we want you guys out here, not only for the support of this baseball team, but in order to get this community together for one game. And it's cool because with the Ask Childhood Cancer Foundation coming out to the Diamond, we've had our Ask night already this year where the players wore specialty jerseys, and Megs can touch more on that because she knows all the ins and outs about that. But it's so cool to have them be a part of this organization and to have something that is near and dear to many people's hearts be able to connect with a baseball team, because we often say that we're in the memory making business, but really we are wanting to put smiles on people's faces every single day because yes, we have baseball players on the field, but we also want to make it entertaining for the fans. So as far as the activities for the Ask Foundation go, we'll have a table set up and people can go over there, learn more about the foundation and learn more about September as well. And if you have any questions about what all September means or what all you can do to get involved at the ballpark with the Ask Foundation, come find myself, come find Megs, come find one of our staff members. It'll be right there present on the concourse, and it's going to be so much fun.
Thank you so much. And Meg, you are such a special individual in this sense because you actually basically full-time pull double duty in the sense that you are a Ask employee. You do an amazing job and have done so for years, setting up wonderful events that we see Ask families, Ask children get to see all over the Commonwealth in many ways. But you are also a member of the Flying Squirrels family. They will see you running, on the mic, running the games, doing all of the amazing things. So what does this particular game Wednesday mean to you, and what, like kind of like Blaine was alluding to, talk a little bit about the partnership between Ask and the Flying Squirrels that has been pretty deep in tradition now.
Yeah. Well, thank you for those wonderful compliments. It is certainly a team effort
you already
on both
know.
ends.
It's no secret. Meg's one of my favorite people. We talk about it all the time. She is a honorary Cheatham member at this point.
You're my hype man. Just follow me around.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah. So the Ask Night at the Diamond that we had in May is and has been for many years one of my absolute favorite nights, because both of my worlds come together. But even before I started working for Ask, it was one of my favorite nights just to see so many of the families come out and get to enjoy a night of community, and to see the way the larger Richmond community rallies around them and around the foundation is just, it really tugs on the heartstrings, but is so inspirational, to see what this community means. And it's so much more than just a baseball game, when we're able to have moments like the 7th inning stretch where our kids take the lap around the field, and to see the team wearing the jerseys and people bidding on those jerseys. It really is just such an inspirational and motivational night. And so we had that back in May, and we're already talking about and looking forward to next year. And as we're rolling through the summer, our Ask Ambassadors have different socials where they can get together throughout the summer. And we all kind of said, hey, let's do one at a Squirrels game. And so we picked Wednesday night, September 14th. So we were already planning to have all our ambassadors come out and just make it kind of a social event. And then we took it a step further, and our staff wanted to all come out. And so our staff and board are also coming out that night as a social event. And then the Squirrels ambassadors were like, wait a minute, let's take it even a step further. It's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in September. We're fundraising for Ask. And so the 4 Squirrels employees that are Ask ambassadors this year kind of really went above and beyond and came up with all these really awesome raffle prizes. And we're the ones that had put together the idea to make it a little fundraising event for Ask and to recognize Childhood Cancer Awareness Month at this game. So you can be sure I'll be wearing my gold sequin jacket Wednesday night to run around the field.
No, that's fantastic. And you mentioned it. The Ask night earlier in the year is way more than just a mere baseball game. It's one of, now that I've been around it for a couple of years, I know it's one of the just famous, like, favorite events of the players. It's definitely one of the favorite events for the families and kids. My kid in particular, Cam, loves Ask Night at the Diamond. It is amazing. How long has that tradition gone on? Because
you just had me thinking about that. It's soon going to be 10 years. I think this was year 8, 7 or 8, that we've been doing this. And it all started because Ask needed a new location for our spring 5K and fun walk. We were kind of outgrowing the old space it was in, and had approached the Squirrels to see if they ever do anything like that at the Diamond, and the amazing partnership was born. And since then, the Squirrels have just been such an incredible ally to Ask. More than just the day of the walk, they turned it into a game night where everyone can come out that participated in the walk and enjoy a game. And that's turned into our kids being able to be on the field and the team wearing the jerseys. And then outside of that, it's become a year-round support system. They really will do anything when we have an event going on. If I send it to anyone with the Squirrels, they're sharing about it. They're coming out and participating. I already had someone at the staff texting me today asking about our donut run in November, because they want to have a bunch of employees come out and run it. They'll give us items for donations for our gala. It really is just year-round. Even just sharing things on social media, the employees there and the staff are such great friends to me personally, but then to the organization. And we've had a Squirrel staff member as an Ask ambassador for the past 4 years. And this year we have 4 of them.
This
so
year
really
we've gone above and beyond. and Blaine, you are one of them, and we are so excited that you would take up that challenge in regards to in support for children with cancer. What was it about Ask? I know it's still new at this point. You're still kind of, but what was it about the mission and that wanted to make you get involved in such a way?
Yeah, just for background, this is my 2nd season with the Flying Squirrels, so I still consider myself fairly new to the Richmond area, but I had never seen anything like the Ask Night through minor league baseball, through Major League Baseball, or in sports in general. And I remember my first year in 2021, because of COVID and everything, we didn't really know how it was going to go, but they still were able to do the lap, and both teams were on the foul lines clapping for the kids. And then this year, the guys were able to come out, high five the kids, give them some hugs, really embrace that night and be able to share the stories beyond their jerseys. So the jerseys are all different, and each kid has their own jersey that they can design, and all of them have a story. And what's really cool is you read some of these stories from the kids, and they're inspirational in their own in their own paths, and just seeing what these kids go through at such a young age. Some of them are 5-6 years old, and they've already been through so much more than myself or anybody that I know has ever been through. So being able to see that night really impacted me, because I was on the call for it, and seeing these kids walk around, and I'm describing them, and I find myself getting emotional. Like even right now, like, my tears are starting to form, and like I get choked up just talking about it, because it impacts your heart so much when you know that these kids are warriors and they're able to be celebrated on the field by one of the greatest minor league baseball communities in the entire United States. So with that long-winded answer, I wanted to get involved in whatever capacity I could, and really, want to make as much of an impact as I could with Ask. And Megs has been great. She's been a great shoulder to rely on, and being able to, coach and see what kind of ideas we can do with Ask. And shameless plug, if you'd like to donate, let me know. Send me an email, send me a text message.
I do want to ask, because there is a link, right? Is there a link for, if you want to support the Ask Foundation, you can buy tickets through a specific link? I will share it on the podcast. I've already shared it on my social media, but I will do so. And then what exactly is that, Megs? You buy a ticket through the link, and proceeds of it go to the Ask Foundation?
Yeah, yep. It's on the Ask Childhood Cancer Foundation Facebook page. We just posted it, and we'll share it again, but there's a special link to buy tickets to Wednesday's game. And same prices if you would just be buying a ticket regularly, but if you buy it through that special link, proceeds from your ticket purchase will be donated back to Ask. So if you're coming out or looking for something fun to do this week, Wednesday is going to be a beautiful day, and if you purchase through that link, you can come have some fun and make a difference to our community as well while you're at it.
That is fantastic. I want to thank you both in that sense. I am going to ask Blaine, because I've heard several Squirrels administrators, or kind of the front office folks, even to the ground crew, talk in particular about this year's team. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like this year's team kind of had a special heart for community. Not so much as I know every team does, and there's certain individuals and certain players that are really community oriented, but it definitely seemed like, I just remember going to the game in May, and before the game started, we were out in the pavilion for Ask, and I want to say it was probably 8 to 10 to 12, like more players than I'd ever seen before. And I'd asked someone about that, and how this particular team had come together and rallied with the community. And to a man, everyone said, "Hey, look, this year's team's different. This year's team has just a lot of community oriented character guys." Is that what you found in this year's this playoff bound Flying Squirrels team that we have?
Most definitely. This team has had a cohesive feel to it from the very beginning. When they first came into Richmond and we had to get their opening headshots before opening night, it just seemed like they really gelled together. And that starts with spring training. It starts with leadership. As far as the community aspect, Cheats, I definitely think so. I think there's a lot of guys in that clubhouse that have a hard time saying no, or they don't want to say no because they want they want to get involved, Right. And when I was talking with some of the guys earlier, they even put it well to say, you don't know how long you're going to be in minor league baseball or in a certain town for a long time. You could get called up tomorrow. You could get released tomorrow, but it's about making an impact wherever you are. And these guys have done that. These guys have made an impact on the ball field and off the ball field. And I remember that day and seeing some of the pictures from the pavilion of the Ask Foundation. I thought that was so cool that, guys were wearing the jerseys and being able to go up to the kids, get some pictures with them. I don't know, maybe the guys were able to get pictures with the kids that had the kids' jerseys on. Maybe I'm not sure on that.
Mine did.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking about Mike Gigliotti. Hey, Mike, we hope you get well soon, buddy. But Mike, I'll just quickly tell you while you're to allude to this, as one of those guys who actually cut himself out of warmups and said, Cam's, my son Cam's going to be throwing out the first pitch. And he said, "Oh no, I want to catch that." He had met Cam earlier in the season, he actually made a specific point to leave warmups to come and catch Cam's first pitch and then give him a hug and so forth. And obviously, because they had met before on Jackie Robinson Day, Cam was already enamored. But now, like, Gigliotti's are like, we're safe to say, very confidently is our favorite. His jersey does hang in our house, and he is our favorite squirrel of all time. And
Sheets, a really cool story about that night when the kids decorated the jerseys for the players to wear in May. I just made a little card to put in all of their lockers with the jersey, so that about the child that decorated their jersey, just so they knew, kind of who they were wearing that night and who they were playing for. And Parney over at the Squirrels put some cards in the locker room in the clubhouse and just said, if you guys would like to write a note back, we'll make sure Megs gets it to the kid that colored your jersey. And every single player on the team wrote a note to the child that colored their jersey. It was pretty unbelievable.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
We
exactly
definitely
the
have
kind of team that we have. Cheats. Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
that's
you're
the kind
good.
of team that we have. The ones that go the extra mile to send a card to the families, send a card to the kids. And a lot of them were very touching, like just kind of browsing through a few of them. I know Megs, you and I looked at a few of them on our own. And, you get a good community feel off of that. And that's so much bigger than baseball. Like who cares about their average? They're a great person on and off the field. Every one of these guys.
That's fantastic. And we will reiterate, we'll share the link on social media. We'll share it in our kind of podcast bios. This is amazing. This is particularly Wednesday night. Ask Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. There'll be ambassadors and board members. We'll try to get out there as soon as we can. Our little man has baseball practice as well, so we're gonna try to do double duty. But the other side of this is, as we continue throughout the week, we roll right into the second ever Richmond 34 Legacy Weekend for the Squirrels, and that is going to be Friday and Saturday. I am so excited. Last year was such an amazing experience to be a part of it in some small way and see everything that went into Legacy Weekend. And we got to shout out my homie Anthony Opperman, who did a lot of stuff last year. And I know this year is going to be extremely, extremely special. Blaine, tell us a little bit about Legacy Weekend honoring the Richmond 34 and what can we expect when we go into Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, it's a unique promotion because it is 2 days and it's a legacy weekend. And this is one of the coolest events that I've personally been a part of because, like you said, Sheets, we launched it last year. It was a fantastic success. And being able to see members from the original Richmond 34 be at the Diamond, it's going to be the same thing this year, too. So we're expecting a good number of the original Richmond 34. It's impactful, because you see the kind of community impact that these men and women shared. And the fact that we're celebrating them is tremendous. And we have the Richmond 34 legacy on the outside of the Diamond. The Flying Squirrels will wear specialty jerseys on Saturday.
They're really cool jerseys.
They're slick. They're really, really cool. Definitely go on the Squirrels website if you want to sneak peek at them. Yeah. But they have like a black base to them, white pinstripes, 34 legacy, and it has the 34 names on the sleeve as well. It's amazing. And then on Friday, we have the t-shirt giveaway as well. And that's all presented by Capital One for this weekend. An incredible weekend and incredible community impact initiative that the Squirrels wanted last year. We've retired the number 34 because of the Richmond 34 legacy. And it's what makes this team really unique. And I'm proud to be a part of it.
And for those who don't know the backstory, and you guys do an amazing job at the game of telling the story, but it was 1960, and there were 34 Virginia Union University students that sat in at Tallheimer's department store. 4 of them were arrested, and it was one of those scenes where it actually changed the course of history in regards to the way that we look at civil rights and the way that we remember our own history right here in downtown Richmond. And it was just an amazing experience to be able to see ambassadors like Elizabeth Johnson Rice, who has been phenomenal for the Squirrels and a phenomenal ambassador at the game, you know, and several other members of the Richmond 34 at the game. And it was just so important for us to be able to recognize, once we hear about, as time goes on and we hear about things like the civil rights movement, we tend to think that it was people over there doing something really important, people far away, whether it's Dr. King in Birmingham, or, you know, other people in other places. And we don't realize that a central part of kind of our civil rights struggle happened right here in Richmond, the former capital of the Confederacy, with very, very young college students deciding to say, hey, look, we're going to sit in until we get treated equally. And it's amazing because you see the Richmond 34 at the game. And I'm sitting here saying, like, that's 1960. That's like my mother's age. It's not something where it's not something where you would think that it is as far long ago as we think. And so it is. Last year was an amazing experience. This year, I'm very, very excited. And one of the things I will continue to credit the Squirrels about the initiative in general, the way they've rolled it out, but the other thing is the give back that's a part of this program. It's not just kind of honoring the participants at the game. It honors several community members that are doing things now that works towards social justice and equality. It is just a number of really, really cool programs, one of which is the executive trainee program. That's really exciting that the Squirrels do. Shout out to, I've met both Virginia State executive trainees last year. Carney Bragg, who's an Ask Ambassador, one of my favorite people of all time. And this year they've got a wonderful graduate from Virginia State who I've met. Her name escapes me right this second, but
Casey
Battle. Yeah,
Casey's one of my absolute favorite people to see at the Diamond this year. Every time I go,
crushing it. Yeah.
So just that program alone, in regards to partnerships with the community, letting young HBCU graduates and African Americans see what it's like to work in the front office. Those are all things that are just so important that honestly, minor league baseball teams don't have to do. And you guys are doing it, and doing it so well. Before we get out of here, talk to me about the jersey giveaway, and because they are sweet. They're pretty amazing. Hey, look, last year was pretty solid. I've got last year's in a frame. This year I'm gonna have this year's in a frame, I'm sure.
Yep.
There's some fighting about the players. So last year my guy was Ronnie Williams, and I wanted to get a Ronnie Williams Legacy 34 jersey, and guess what? I'll tell you the story. I couldn't get it because Ronnie wouldn't give it up.
Yep.
He wouldn't get. He was like, "No, I'm keeping this, bro." I'm texting him like, "Dude, your jersey's not for auction. What's going on?" He's like, "No, man, I'm keeping this thing."
Yeah. That was something very dear to his heart, and he was our nutshell feature for the Legacy weekend as well. And he talked about his own community impact and what the Richmond 34 meant to him personally. And it's great to see him back with the Giants organization, because he was over in Korea playing baseball overseas.
I was following. And Korean baseball starts at like 5 a.m.
Yep.
It's insane. It's insane.
But it's great to see him back with San Francisco's organization. He's now pitching for AAA in Sacramento.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, the jerseys are going to be available for auction. They're actually up right now, available if you'd like to bid on them. And then they will go up until Saturday. And what's really cool about those is the proceeds will go to Flying Squirrels charities, and we can disperse that throughout the community as well. So if you want to be able to own a very cool jersey with a lot of meanings through a community standpoint, and two, want to look good in it, definitely bid on those jerseys, because the Flying Squirrels will be wearing them on Saturday night, and come to the game Saturday to see which jersey you're going to take home too.
That is awesome. It's an awesome jersey. It's an awesome promotion, and it is really a commemorative thing. So I'll get you both out of here with Meg, you asked about the hat I'm wearing right now. And anybody that follows the Cheats movement knows that I am a huge hat collector, a baseball hat. I mean, it's insane. It's problematic. I don't even know. Like, I'm sitting in my home office, and I'll just quickly show you.
He's got like stacks, I'm guessing.
This is
Yep,
like
there it is.
This is like the hole that's on the floor. Like this is
Nice.
not in any of the cases that we've been able to do. But this hat is by far the most expensive hat I've ever had to buy. And it is because last year when we were going through a lot of the kind of like the procedures and demos for Legacy 34 weekend, Noah Scalen, as a artistic friend of mine, and myself, we were involved, and we were seeing some of the earlier renderings of what the uniforms would look like. So the mock uniform that we got, and shout out to Nick Elder and everyone that worked on that. But the mock uniform we got was the Richmond 34 jersey they wore last year. I think it was inspired by the Miami Giants. It was awesome. And they had this hat. They had a hat last year. And so by the time it took to get I was like, at first I was like, all I care about is a hat. The hat is amazing. I love it. Whatever you did, I need the hat. And so by the time, working with minor league baseball and getting everything approved and having everything go through, they were able to get the jerseys, but the hats are a weird thing in baseball. Like, to change your hat, it's a whole massive approval process. And so they were like, dude, we can't get the hat. Like, we can get the jerseys. We're going to auction the jerseys. They're all approved. We can't get the hat. And so at the time I was like, what can I do to make a hat? Like so this is the hat that Nick and those guys rendered for the uniforms last year. And it was cool. It had the RIC on it, and it was just like, and so what I did was I looked for basically a hat that had like piping, that was a black hat with just kind of piping. And then I talked to a bunch of my fitted hat friends, and we had to like diagram like the logos for, there's a wonderful embroidery shop really close to the Diamond that you can kind of give them the dimensions, give them what you need, and they will embroider on anything, shirts, hats, or anything, so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why this is the most expensive hat I ever had is I had to find the right hat off of eBay, buy the hat, and then I had to pay for my friends to like design like the stuff that we needed to design on it, and like render it and be able to send it to the embroiderer. Then the embroiderer had to do their work. And so it was like a month and a half later, they come back and I've got like this perfect like Sheets movement,
that's awesome,
end racism hat that awesome. I paid, I don't know how much for when it was all said and done. Like no clue. Because it's like one of one. And they were, everybody's like, dude, if you get like 25 of them, it's gonna be so much cheaper. I'm like, no, I don't need 25. I just need one. No. And they're like, well, you're gonna pay the same price as if you were paying 25. So I was like, fine, I don't care, because I'm not getting 25 hats off eBay. So that's the story. It is by far my favorite hat, and is by far the most expensive one. However, like most people do, being that I did all this work and I love it to death, I never wear it outside. This is literally the second time I've ever worn this hat. I got it like in a display case. You'll never see it at the game. I'm not gonna do it. Like,
you can't let anything happen to it.
Yeah, it's like, this is where I am right now. But
I was just about to say, if you're gonna wear that to the game, I'd love it. But I understand. I will work on other things. Trust me. I have enough Squirrels hats to make it work. Perfect.
But no, it was a labor of love, but it was because, and I'll quickly tell you and we'll wrap it up. It's because that weekend meant so much to us in regards to what we were able to do, and what the Squirrels were able to do, and what the community was able to do. And it's so important because it's, it goes beyond, we didn't even mention those Legacy 34 ambassadors going to Richmond public schools and telling their story as well. And it is just a really, really important thing. And it's the right thing to do. And it was awesome that the Squirrels embraced it, as Parney and everybody from the top on down embraced it the way they have. And that's a characteristic of the Flying Squirrels for the last 10 years. So it's been just amazing. And it's because of people like you, Blaine, and people like you, Meg, as we continue on and see what, hopefully, knock on wood, the next 10,
Right.
15, 20 years of Flying Squirrels baseball in Richmond,
Yes.
somewhere near where it is now, will happen. So thank you both. And we will, there is codes. There's also there are also some friends and family Cheats Movement codes for Friday and Saturday's game that I will share on social media. I'll share the link for Wednesday's game. If you are out at the ballpark and you're able to see Blaine and Megs and everybody else, please say hello and give them a big hug. And all of our Ask Ambassadors, that's gonna be a blast. So with that said, thank you both.
Appreciate it, Cheats.
Thank you, Cheats. Appreciate you, man.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will put all of that stuff up. Feel free to share. This is the Cheats Movement special edition of the Cheats Movement podcast. I think this is going to be like very, very low numbers of actual output this year, but I'm very excited about the stuff that we have been able to do. I did discover that Blaine McCormick is the one person that listens to the show, so I don't know what our numbers will be, but that is awesome.